And you know, one thing I am not so far, at least, is a really good welder. But what I am trying to do here is I tried to fill in the seams around the gas tank door there, and I'm gonna try and get it smooth enough so that I can fill it in with Bondo, and you know, make it look nice and smooth. So again, looking back to the front of the car, here's the this battery had been already relocated. I think I showed in one of my original videos. However, I've replaced that battery tray with this really nice aluminum tray that's permanently mounted down to the floor, and it's made for this Optima battery. And you can see the clamp kind of right in that area that clamps the battery down nice and snug right at the base of the battery. Okay, so looking inside here, kind of give you an idea of where I'm at with the dash and the interior here. So this dash frame is from the original dash, and I've simply cut it off to the right of your screenshot right here, and I'm going to use that as a base, and I'm going to add some other tubing onto it, and then I'll wrap that in aluminum or something similar to that, so that I can make a fairly simple but usable dash for this car. You can see the door handle, the door release that I made right there. That's actually a furniture piece. It's a release for a recliner, which was kind of cool. Then we'll go around to the other side over here and show you that I've got the seat installed now. You can't really see. Yeah, you can. It's got a soft kind of a cloth wrap, fairly deep seat also. Let's see if you can get a better idea here. It's about 10-12 inches deep, right across the waistline, and it's a Pro car. It's made by Scat. It's cheap, but it's perfect for Trixie and perfect for what I need. I fit nice and snug in there, and I'm real happy with that. So that's the inside. Now, probably the most exciting part of the last few months is the fact that there is now an engine inside of this thing. This is the motor that I won after attending the Rotary Clinic put on by Kurt Robertson up in Molalla, Oregon. And this is a fantastic 13B that we rebuilt right there over on the weekend. And then the motor was raffled, and yours truly won it. I think most of you that have seen this already or know about this car know that I won this motor. I'm pretty happy about it. So did save me a ton of money. I really probably wouldn't be anywhere near this far along if I had to have purchased a motor, or even if I had had a transplant out of that red RX-7. I just don't know if that would have happened, or not. My goal all along has been to get this car together to race it, hopefully starting in the spring, which at this point the first event is now right at 2 months away. So we'll see. I'm doing my best to get it done. All right, so looking back at the earlier videos that I did, man, this engine compartment was so wrecked, and it was just a total mess. And I intended, and I'm happy that I kind of committed to this, because I'm real happy with the result, that I was going to clean up and paint and make the inside of this engine compartment look nice and sanitary as well. I don't know if it's going to help it run any better, or if it's going to help me win any races or not, but it'll help me knowing that that I can probably pull the hood off and show this beauty off. So pretty excited about it. Clutch master cylinder and brake master cylinder are installed, brand new. Good news is that right after I got the engine in, I got the clutch hooked up and got a nice strong clutch pedal, which is a good sign. You may or may not notice that I did a little modification here. I took the power brake booster off of the brake master cylinder, one just to save a little bit of weight, but two to clean up the engine compartment a little bit. This is a trick that I did on my 510 from a long time ago, my Datsun 510, and it was a pretty easy transformation to make. And the cars are so small and light that to me it's a bit excessive to have power brakes on something this small. So I don't mind working the brake pedal a little bit. Let's see. So one of the things that I did here with this motor, you kind of see the unique location of the alternator. Typically, the alternator on this car rests right up in this area right here, right above the water pump. But in this case, I got this from Atkins Rotary up in Eatonville, Washington. Some folks that I met at Kurt Robertson's clinic, and they've got a real nice website with a ton of really great parts that are perfect for a guy doing a job just like this on an RX-7 or really any RX-7, first, second, third gen, whatever. But anyway, this alternator bracket right here relocates the alternator down lower in the engine compartment, so it moves a heavy piece, but also one that's got some centrifugal force to it, which helps lower the center of gravity a little bit. And plus it's kind of cool looking to be kind of out there like that. And I made that really awesome heim jointed bracket to go along with their mounting piece right there. Pretty happy with that. All right, so coming around to the other side and looking across, you notice that on the inside of the driver's side strut right there, there's those 3 bolts sticking out. Well, previously the remote oil filter was mounted on that side of the car, but because of that alternator modification, I have had to move it to the other side, and that's where this is at right now. Did a little bit of research and found a Wix filter that's a 2-quart filter, or right about a 2-quart filter, which will increase the oil capacity, which helps with engine cooling. More oil flowing through the engine, volumetric cooling occurs. That according to HP manuals. All right, so sitting up on top of the engine here is a Weber 48 side draft. This is a DHLA 48 Weber. Should be just about the perfect amount of carburation for this engine. Now this engine itself is, I would call it a Frankenstein engine. If I was talking about like my Datsun 510 that I had before, where we took the 1600 block and we put in an 1800 crank and rods in it to increase the torque on the engine as a result of getting a little bit longer stroke out of that crank and rods. So in this case though, what we have is 13B rotor housings, which are about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch thicker or wider, I guess, in diameter, allowing for a bigger rotor than the 12A. However, we used 12A iron castings on this thing because they're a 4-port casting, and according to the people that know everything about Mazdas, the 4-port is a far better performing engine than the 6-port, the 6-port castings which came with the 13B. So we have a hybrid. I call it a Frankenstein. Trixie's got a Frankenstein motor. So you'll notice a nice shiny aluminum radiator. Picked that up from Kurt. It's a three-row radiator, and of course, you can see all the nicely painted parts inside of there. If you look at that opening right there on the firewall, that is the spot where the wiper motor used to reside. I opened that up just to add some airflow through there and provide an easy way out for some hot air, to keep it from hovering around inside the engine compartment as much as possible. Down low here, we've got the oil cooler. This came on the car. Just been working on getting that put back in. I've got to do some stuff with the stainless braided lines because I moved that oil filter to the other side. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of reconstruction with that. So I'm in the process right now of getting the brake lines all cleaned out, replaced as necessary. I got some stainless flex lines for the calipers themselves, and I've replaced a few of the hard lines. And boy, I'm just getting closer and closer, and we'll see how this all turns out. Hopefully, sometime in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to fire this thing up. And I've got a pretty big punch list up there on the wall still, and we'll see how long it's going to take to figure out all that stuff. I'm learning and teaching myself and doing a lot of reading, and feeling pretty happy with the progress I've made so far, and looking forward to doing quite a bit more here in the next few weeks, and hopefully, like I said, get this thing fired up, for sure by the end of February, first part of March. So anyway, that's Trixie update number 5, we'll call it, and looking forward to sharing number 6 with you, and hopefully you'll hear the sounds of that rotary engine fired up. Have a great one. Thanks for watching.